So you're in mountain pose now. You should still have that same alignment in your feet. Okay, step back a little, make sure I'm in frame. And just take a moment, reorient yourself, connect to the earth again. Feel those 3 points if you can. You might notice more weight in 1 point or 2 points than all 3. That's okay. Again, just be aware. You can close your eyes. That's helpful too to find it. Now I'm going to bring my hands to the sides of the pelvis. Again, you can think of it shaped like a bowl, hands along the side of the top brim of the bowl. And just a little softness in the knees. We oftentimes are kind of a product of our own habits. So if we lock the knees, it actually holds our pelvis and our spine in a locked position. If you just relax that a little bit, your pelvis will naturally kind of settle into a more neutral posture. Okay, we can also adjust a little. So remember your cats and cows? You can think of like your cat pose, you're just bringing the bottom of the bowl towards the earth. This might seem a little weird at first to you posturally, but you should notice it actually kind of relaxes, softens the hips, the lower back. Once you get there, again, just to kind of find a balance as we ground down, we also want to lightly extend up. So reaching through the crown or again, the back of soft palate. And once you find that nice sense of balance, just begin to move or float your hips forward and backwards just a few times. You'll notice this actually changes where the weight goes in the feet, so there's that relationship between our center or our center of gravity and our what we call the base of support, so how we're supporting ourselves in this posture, which is through the legs, the feet. Then find for yourself balance. What does it feel like to get equal to the front and back of the foot? Once you're there, go side to side. Again, the aim is that the bowl isn't really tipping very much, it stays pretty upright. So does the line in the center, but we're just shifting that line over each leg and feeling, again, what's present. Are there tight spots? Is there effort? Is there strain? It's okay. If you feel anything sharp or intense through the practice, especially as we get a little further here, just ease off or give it a break for that, for today, whatever day it is. Okay. Again, find center, equal weight on both sides. Now we've settled ourselves a little more clearly into this mountain pose. Let your arms relax. Notice again the tops of the shoulders. I'll just point to that spot right here. On your inhale, we can think of that opposing energy, right? We call it prana. It's actually the energy that moves upward, lifting the shoulders up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Exhale, let gravity bring them back down. For upward reaching pose, as the arms reach up, we want to create that same light lift through the shoulders. Oftentimes in yoga class, maybe you're told to pack the shoulders down. We don't want to confuse the muscles or the shoulder joints. So let the shoulders lift as your arms lift. If you do feel strain in the neck, just go a little softer, right? You can adjust as you need to. Focus the energy through the center. So back of soft palate, the top of the spine reaching up, the top of the head reaching up. That should help to automatically lighten the load for your arms or shoulders. Another mudra that's helpful here, interlacing fingers, pointing index fingers up, a light squeeze of your arm bones in, just like we squeeze our block. That's going to help us to find energy more in the center of the joints of the upper limbs. Again, notice the balance, still grounded down. Is there any strain, any lift that's happening in the back, the knees, the hips? Just again, settle into the earth and feel the flow of energy upward to help balance that out. 2 more big breaths here. And we'll release the arms out to the sides and back down. Now tuck your chin, let gravity bring the top of the head towards the earth. Soft bend in the knees again to reduce strain in the lower back, hamstrings. Take it as deeply into the forward fold as your body wants to go. Again, find the weight is equal here, so I'm going to do a little shifting, forward, back, side to side if I need to. If you can't find your hands to the earth, hands on shins, or you've got your handy block. Lastly, a little bit of movement just to warm up the legs, bend and straighten the knees. The base of the pelvis drops towards the earth or the floor, and then lifts up towards the ceiling or the sky. And with a slight tuck of the base, you're gonna rise up. Now bring your block with you if you have it handy. If not, just come up to the mountain pose. Go ahead and find it. Again, block goes middle width between the inner thighs. You can also, just as a reminder, since I forgot, use your roll, okay? What this does, it just helps us to, again, find that root lock energy, Mula Bandha. So we're going to do just a little bit here in our mountain pose, and then we'll take it to a few final fun standing postures for today. Okay, so soften the knees, let the pelvis be neutral. Find, again, that upward lift through your center. What I'm going to do next here, just let the pelvis sink a little closer towards the earth, maybe an inch or two. Engaging the inner thighs, feeling the pelvic floor lift, I'm going to just bring the pelvis slightly back up, hands on the hips. Notice again when you go into those habitual postures, right? Knees locking, I'm just exaggerating that a little bit here. I'll show you from the side, right? Going up, I come to here. This is not so good to remind those muscles to be tight, so you can let it go if it does happen. And then just don't go quite as far. Come up. We want the energy to actually be going up to the crown through the center. Letting it go. And then bringing it up. Okay, so from here, as we bring it up softly, we'll take the hands. Actually, let's do a little bit of reaching first. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to reach my hands up. Elbows are bent. Okay, stretching out, arms out to the sides, and then coming back towards the side ribs. So gravity is bringing your arms down, right? You don't need to force that, but just notice again the action of connection there. Send the arms up on the inhale, out and down on the exhale. Close your eyes again if you want to sense your internal environment a little bit more. Notice what's there. Let's go ahead and switch the direction now. So from fingers pointing out, you're going to reach the arms out and up. And then the elbows just drop right along the side ribs. This is like a standing chaturanga. So if that's a dreaded pose or movement for you, this is a great way to actually practice just coordinating the muscles, the movement through the upper limbs. Always supported by our center. Awesome, let the arms relax. I will take our chair pose, another posture that oftentimes can be challenging for people. Just notice if there is challenge where it arises for you, it's totally okay. Okay, so I'm gonna bring my hands to my hips to start, just to again feel out the pelvis. As my pelvis sinks down, I'm gonna go a little bit further, noticing now the bowl wants to tip forward. I'm letting that happen. Keeping the equal weight through the 3 points in the feet is really crucial to not overstrain the legs or the hips or lower back. So I'm sinking down to whatever depth I can find. Maybe you can reach your arms forward here. That gives you a little counterbalance. You can go a little deeper. You want to maintain the engagement of energy through the crown or through the top of the spine. Let's bring it back up. Just a slight tuck towards the earth with the roots. Squeeze your prop and use that energy to boost yourself back up through center. Good, you don't have to do that with your arms. I just like to show that line with my hand. I don't know why. Inhale to bring it down. Again, find a comfortable depth for yourself. Take a breath or two here. When you're ready on the exhale, you're engaging at the root. I'll do that without my hands this time, coming up through the center. You can take the arms into that overhead reach. So now there's the balance. Chair pose actually very similar to our boat pose. We're holding ourselves up from center, grounding down through the feet, reaching up through the top. And again, lift. Just one more round. Find the depth of your pose. And hold. Okay, where does your focus go? Where does your gaze kind of naturally want to go? See where you can direct it. Exhale to let it go back to that forward fold. We'll keep the blocker prop if we can. If your roll's in your way, you can move it, that's totally fine. I'm gonna again soften my knees just to give my hips a little more space. Now like the cow pose, we just lift the base and the crown only about halfway. So right, we're creating almost like this parallel line to the earth or to the floor. As you exhale, let gravity bring you back down. Try that twice more. Inhale, lift up, lengthen. If you feel like you don't really need your arms, that's great. Your center is strong. Arms can reach out or forward. Exhale, let it go. Just try to again maintain that equal weight through your feet. Last round, inhale, lift up. If my weight goes towards my toes, I can just push my sitting bones back in space and stay centered. Exhale to release. Remove your block or your prop. Look, set it or throw it to the side. You might hate it by now, that's totally fine. Roll up back to the mountain pose. And reach the arms up. We'll take a few crescent bends next. If it's a little bit much for the shoulders, or if your shoulders are tired, this is also a great adjustment for our neck posture, to bring the hands behind the head, slight reach with the elbows, and a little press of hands and skull against one another. Okay, so either option works. I'm moving the center of my body over to one side of the mat, just naturally letting the body arc in the opposite direction. And then using again that energy, I'm squeezing my imaginary prop, lifting from the root, reaching straight up towards the sky through the crown. It brings my body back. Take it to the other side. Big inhale, notice the strain or tension or effort or anything that comes up. Squeeze towards the midline, direct the energy back to center. A few more on either side. One thing that often happens here again, when we go into our habits, right? My hips come forward, all the weight's in my toes. Maybe I'm stretching a little bit here, but I'm keeping the strain in my lower back, which doesn't really serve me in any way. So I'm moving my hips back a little, just being a little more balanced with that. Those of you that feel like you want to explore this a little bit more, from one side, move the hips back a little bit, arc your body in the forward direction. And then go to the other side. You can come straight through the center like you did for the first few rounds, or to take a gentle extension, hips move forward, crown reaches back. Again, if there's any strain, avoid that one today, and bring the hands behind the head for a little more support. If you're not doing the circles, you're still going side to side. Let's take about 3 more breaths. Those of you are doing the circles, go the other way a few times just to balance yourself out. And we'll take it into one more forward fold. So as you're exhaling, release the arms. If your hands are behind your head, you can keep it here if that feels good. Or just grabbing hold of opposite elbows once you get down. Shaking out the arms a little bit, rotating, nodding, yes, no. And again, with a soft bend to the knees, round and rise the body up. Find center, palms to prayer. Just check in. What has this connection to all of these different spaces and energies in your body done for you that you can now notice and acknowledge?